Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of The Avengers. This is Omnibus Volume 5. You can see there, absolutely glorious. There's all the creators. Volume 5 from Marvel Comics. Now this cost me £60-ish. You can normally find it about £68, £70. Just look around. Obviously, if you buy it from the shops, probably a little bit more expensive. There's all the comics included. It includes 856 pages. Just come out. And let's just go through the book. You can see the details there. It includes the Avengers. This one's 120 to 149 and giant size 1 to 4, as well as Captain Marvel 33 and also Fantastic Four 150. Brilliant issue. Also includes some bonus material as well. There's the ISBN number and you can see the prices, obviously in American, $100, $125 in Canadian. The book looks great, as ever. Absolutely lovely, and you can see on the back there. Now, let's just go through the book, and you've got the Avengers Omnibus. You can see all details there. Steve Englehart, Sal Buscema, George Tusker, and George Perez. Of course, as ever, there are a lot more people involved. You've got letterers, colorists, editors, inkers, finishers, and many, many more. And there's all the contents. You can see there. Now, Marvel Masterworks, quite a few, generally always. The introductions are always Marvel Masterworks. I always wish they would do them new. It would be nice to get some new ones, but still, they use the old ones. You can see the stories go from 1974 all the way through to July 1976. This does cover the range of Epic collections. Now, this one has got a few additional stories that are in the earlier omnibus, but some of the ones in here at the back are included in the omnibus. Now this includes 129 to 149, so everything in this one, volume 8, is included in the omnibus. The first story, Death Stars of Zodiac. That was an okay story. I wouldn't say it was world's greatest story, as of course it's always got the letters pages, which are always great, as well as the thing called Killdozer. Now, Mantis obviously turned up earlier, but here's Mantis. You get a lot more about the Celestial Madonna. Beware the Star Stalker. Very unusual story, but still, again, found it quite interesting. And also more about the origins of Mantis. At the same time, this story is running along. Captain Marvel, of course, 25, 26, etc. But Avengers, 125, and we've got Thanos turning up. It wasn't the Infinity Gauntlet, of course, at that point. It was the Cosmic Cube. You got the Destroyer there, and also Captain Marvel. This is the first of the giant sizes. You got Wizard. I always felt that Wizard would have been a great character to reintroduce. Unfortunately, he only appears a few times. There's all the way back to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, of course, and also the Avengers versus the X-Men. I can't remember which year that was, number 10, that sort of thing. Slight variation of the image there, and of course Magneto, etc. Two great characters, Klaw and Solaar. This omnibus does include some great stories, but also includes a few not particularly great ones. Solaar was a villain, of course, with Iron Man, and Klaw, probably more Fantastic Four. Though I suppose, obviously, Black Panther. But still, you got this character, of course, turns out to be. But we're finally into the wedding of Quicksilver and Crystal. Personally, I always felt that Human Torch should have married Crystal, but still, that didn't happen. At this point, we're actually getting Marvel value stamps. Did anyone actually cut those out? I'm certain they did. I have had a few comics where those have been cut out. The wedding went into issue 150. Some of it was slightly odd. There was one scene in the previous comic, I thought, it didn't really carry on into the next story. Don't know what happened there, but still. Ultron 7, he'll rule the world. Then we got Necrodamus, good old Scarlet Witch story. Bewitched, Bothered and Dead. A lot of these stories did not turn up in the UK. Well, I certainly never found them in my local comic shops. This one, I bought this up at Dark They Were and Golden Eyed, and I didn't buy, unfortunately, all the issues, so it was really nice to finally get them in a complete run. This is the Avengers and Kang. Bid tomorrow, goodbye, which leads on to a classic giant-size Avengers. Now, again, I don't think any of these giant sizes ever turned up in my local shops, which is a pity, but still, we've got, obviously, Ramatut and Kang. Of course, at this point, we've actually got Swordsman in the story. Of course, he's been obviously with Mantis, but Swordsman, and of course, a bit of a history with Hawkeye. Some dramatic pages. Unfortunately, I can't show the next part of the story because something really dramatic happens. But we've got Titanium Man, Crimson Dynamite, and the Radioactive Man all turning up, of course, old villains of Iron Man. Personally, I always thought he was the most riskier character around. Who'd want to walk around with Radioactive Man? Oh, there's Immortus. I knew Immortus was turning up somewhere in the storyline. Now, of course, I wonder why they didn't bring in Scarlet Centurion. They could have brought him in as well. But it does have a classic Kang War 2. Was that World War 3 or whatever they should have done? But still, we got the, obviously, Frankenstein's monster. You got the Human Torch. Not the Fantastic Four one, but the Golden Age one, which was really great. Real nice connection, of course, with the Vision. Yet another giant-sized one, and of course, continuing on the Kang story. And of course, Wonder Man. But at this point, he's still dead. And we get the origins of the Vision. Obviously, I've already explored that bit. The Human Torch. And there's the Mad Thinker. Most unusual story that was. I did like this story. It was all about the Kree. It was quite nice. I'm always fascinated by these sort of origin stories, and you certainly learn a lot more about the Kree, etc. Here's an odd story. This is George Tusker's art. The torch is passed. And you've got, of course, got Ultron. I'm not. Oh, it's Ultron 5. I was wondering there's 6, 7, 8. I've lost track. Does he actually go by Ultron 233 or something now? Must get very confusing about which version he is. And you've got another wedding. There were lots of weddings in this story. Two weddings. And this time it's Vision and the Scarlet Witch. Oh, and actually another wedding as well, of course. Completely forgot that one. You got Swordsman and Mantis. Anyway, slight spoiler, there it is. And it's Immortus doing it. Was he ever officiated as a sort of that he could actually do weddings? Well, obviously he's the master of time and all that. I guess he can do whatever he wants. Yet another good old Marvel Masterworks one. Again, I would love to see these updated and a little bit more information included, but just always using the ones, and I don't know what year this was, probably says somewhere, but they're still always interesting. 2014. Yes, another new character, the Beast. It's not particularly new, he obviously was in the X-Men. Actually, at this point, it was a bit of a surprise, because I must admit, I didn't realise he had actually turned into a beast. Also, we got Moondragon, the Toad. He didn't join. He was obviously a villain in the earlier story. I loved this one when this came out. Whirlwind, it was always a favourite character of mine. Human Top, great character in Tales to Astonish. Instead of Ant-Man going into Vision, this time the Vision goes into Ant-Man, obviously Yellow Jacket. I love these stories, the old Squadron Sinister. I love Dr. Spectrum and Hyper and all those characters. Brilliant. And the Wizard, of course, as well. This was a good one as well. I love this one. Go West, Young Gods. That was just a great story, seeing all the old original Western characters, Rawhide Kid, etc. And Kang is back, of course. A super favourite of mine. Hellcat. Always enjoyed the old Millie the Model and Patsy Walker and all those stories. So it was just great that she finally, Patsy Walker. I always wondered why they never brought Millie the Model back. Maybe they could have done sort of a superhero story with Millie the Model, maybe Rusty, Tessie the Typist. There was always possible size. Cindy Smith. There were loads of great characters back in the Atlas period. I have to say, I wasn't very keen on this story. The Assassin one, it was an in-betweener story. One of those ones where, of course, the artwork was delayed or something. But we got that. And I loved this one when it came out, The Serpent Crown, a great storyline. What a lovely touch of a Justice League of America. I always enjoyed those ones where it had it down the side. You got Hyper and Doctor. You knew all the characters. So it was really great. Hellcat there, Moondragon, Thor, all the characters that were included in the Avengers, etc. And I also love that. 2,000 Leagues Under Justice. Yeah, there's a character you don't see often. Orca. I loved picking this one up. Foom, number 6. I wish I kept all my copies because they go for a lot now. So this one was Foom and the Avengers, an interview with Jarvis. I love this one. The Wedding Bells one, a busting up the avenging gang of mine. And everyone's favourite Treasury editions. I love Treasury editions. I would love to see them back again in a proper way. They still do exist, but they're not the same. I just loved getting this one. Marvel Comics Index and the Avengers. I think I poured through that so many times. Now, of course, it's all on the internet, but at the time, this was, for me, wow, so much information. I love this collection. Now, this was a great set of stories. I bought a fair amount of the stories at the time. Not all, because quite a few of them did not come out in my local town, so I'd have to go up to Dark World and Golden Knight, so I'd pick odd issues. But still, just great to see him now, see him all with the Kang. Quite amazing how many Kang stories there were in this one. And of course, George Perez artwork was just brilliant. I loved the wedding stories. Of course, we had the brilliant Thanos stories as well, and many, many more. Well, will you be picking this omnibus edition up? you've got every intentionalist, or you're just going for the epics. So the epics are good as well. They're absolutely brilliant. Also, of course, the earlier essentials and Marvel Masterworks as well. Always forget about Marvel Masterworks. I love this. Absolutely brilliant. I am, of course, looking forward to Volume 6. There's quite a lot coming out at the moment. There's some Captain America ones coming out. I think, oh, maybe that. Also, The Incredible Hulk Volume 2 is coming out fairly soon. Also, Daredevil number 3 Omnibus as well. A lot of great sort of Silver Age, Bronze Age Omnibus collections. Bye.